dalam BuzzPOP hari ini kita bakal membedah dan membincangkan season finale bagi siri K-drama Business Proposal. Para panelis kita malam ini terdiri daripada saya, Nadzru Iskandar daripada BuzzPOP TV, Kaki drama kita iaitu Jamal Raslan. What's up bro?
Hello.
Alright, dan seterusnya Tarmizi Ali. What's up bro? Kaki review.
Hello.
Aku suka background kau. Terbaik.
Yeah.
Terbaik. Yeah. Nice one bro, nice one. Alright guys, so kita akan mulakan perbincangan kita malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat. Alright, so reaksi satu ayat aku, niat terkutuk dua orang tua yang kaya pada aku spoils the finale of this otherwise awesome as fuck series. Jadi apakah reaksi satu ayat anda? Kita mulakan dengan Tarmizi. Silakan Tarmizi.
Kan mereka terkutuk sangat kot.
Silakan.
Ya, okay, kita dah daripada episod 1 sampai 10 and kita rasa macam dia trendy, dia naik and then episod 11 sedikit naik and then episod 12 dia sedikit menurun tapi tidak at the level of you kata is bad or trash or anything, but we were expected macam a little bit more dari segi macam the resolution of the conflict tu, but macam the main conflict which is Chemekang Atuk tu is resolved off screen. It would be macam very nice macam kalau it's actually dia muncul in person and give Hari his blessing. So yang tu yang kita nak. But kita tak nampak benda tu berlaku off screen. Tiba-tiba Tae-Moo kata okay, my grandpa is okay, so, kita kahwin je.
Pelik kan? That's so weird.
I would rather macam dia macam the episode 12 tu ada part real time and ada part time skip 1 year. I would rather macam part yang real time tu sumbat ke episod sebelumnya and then dedicate that episode 12 tu for the time skip.
Yes. To like dia dah pergi New York, lepas tu dia orang balik. Ya. At least nampak lah Datuk dekat Amerika ke apa. Kita tak nampak langsung. Seperti kata Ismawi, dia mula-mula dia marah. Banyak kali emoji marah tu. Kemudian dia mengatakan rush ending, Joss Whedon level editing.
Joss Whedon.
Kemudian dia menambah lagi, sangatlah tidak satisfying, undeserved ending. Almost like the story supposed to go for a few more episodes, tapi Netflix cut to 12. Apa pendapat kau Jamal? What happened here? I think you're on mute. Kau kena unmute yourself.
It was 12 episodes from the get-go, so it was not rushed. I think on the contrary, it was well spaced. I think this comes right after 25-21. So banyak orang punya expectation is that satu, dia kena overcome atau cover balik the disappointment from 25-21. Outside of the fact that typically benda ni escapism dan semua orang nak tengok couple tu happy together. But outside of those two reasons, I think on the onset, the ending that we got was different from the ending of the webtoon. And the webtoon punya ending, by and large, is not as good. Sebab the webtoon punya ending adalah Hari was doubting herself whether she should accept Tae-Moo punya proposal atau Tae-Moo punya intentions. And then she got, depending on the words of who you speak to or who you read to, she got gaslighted into accepting the proposal by Young-Seo and by the grandpa. So the actual webtoon that was based on ada banyak cliche yang outdated. Sebab tu cerita ni syarat dengan cliche. Tapi the treatment that was given to this cliche dia subvert. So for example, a simple example of the subverting expectation is that at the end of episode 12 kita ingat atuk dia tak suka, and then Hari being her assertive self, which is also a change from the webtoon. Sebab dalam webtoon Hari bukan assertive macam dalam kita tengok ni. So So in the webtoon kononnya dia pergi jumpa atuk tu adalah part of her overcoming everything and then becoming an assertive person. Tetapi in the series it was better made that she was assertive from the start, so it was a natural decision for her to make. So and then kita ingat Harabuji tak suka, tapi Harabuji suka. Another subverting expectation is that Young-Seo Seong-Hoon punya takut sebab kantun dengan bapak dia. Lepas tu bapak dia jumpa pergi dinner. Lepas tu dia takut dinner tu dia kena maki, and then dinner tu dia was pleasantly surprised. Bapak dia kata kalau dia nak kahwin mestilah aku kena jumpa dia dulu, and then they were happy, and then baru dia pergi balik to the whole tapi bapak takkan bapak Young-Seo ni akan berubah dalam masa 2 minit atau 5 minit atau 10 minit. So apparently he did not change. So they subvert expectations and the cliches in these many different ways lah, aside from the examples that I gave you. So jadi kira show ni sebab dia adapted from the webtoon, they kept it quite tight. So for me, aku rasa there was enough space for everything that happened. So kalau kita nak diorang end up together at the end in the way that we imagine, i.e. Harabuji suka ke, i.e. wedding ke, within the last 2 episodes memang you tak ada space because every scene needed to breathe. So otherwise it would have been rushing to the climax that we wanted. So because the ending of the webtoon is not like this, so they then put in the time skip. So while aku rasa time skip tu itself is a cliche dan banyak orang tak suka, it's a trope dan banyak orang tak suka, aku rasa with 15 minutes left, I think that was the fastest they could do lah, because it would be impossible for the Harabuji to be mad for 4 episodes and then disebabkan dia dengar Hari menyanyi kat dalam bilik hospital teman dia, dalam masa 10 minit dia boleh berubah hati. Of course dalam 10 minit tu 10 minit runtime lah, tapi it's impossible for him to berubah hati at the end. That being said, I accept Mizi's point. Kata you could have made the entire final episode as the time skip and I would have been fine. But I think they introduced the whole Hari dengan Minwoo kacau Yura dengan Minwoo buat tahi kacau Hari, and then so you had that little arc of Hari punya office mates gossip about her, which kalau kita nak argue, you do not need Yura and Minwoo to do that. We could have just had a 5-minute scene where they argued, or the fact that diorang jumpa dekat bar tu dah cukup. But what they wanted to do was sambung on the point where Hari kata, aku takut kita couple and then orang cakap apa. Kalau kita couple nanti kat tempat kerja macam mana. So they added that on because this is then the writer in me thinking lah. Lepas dia confront Minwoo dengan Yura dekat the bar tu, takkan Yura tak ada blowback. So Yura akan ada blowback. And then they have been setting this dia kena ada revenge sebab dia petty. And then they have been setting up the whole they look like such a couple, they so cute together on screen from episodes 6 or 7 when they went on the social media because of the cooking show. So kalau dia tak rap dekat situ, kalau dia tinggal dekat situ then sayang lah. That's what I mean. So with 15 minutes to go, because atuk dia still had to get treatment. So the ending is that basically if the atuk ended on, okay, I accept you, now I go to US and then we don't have the time skip, then we would be rushing the atuk to accept Hari. Faham tak? So if you, and then the whole point is you need to put Tae-Moo in a position where he had to choose. He really had to choose. And atuk dia yang dah marah bukan benda yang boleh baik lepas 2 malam duduk ke hospital kena teman dengan Hari. So I feel that is fairly logical or realistic lah. So my point is simple je.
Did not have a time skip, is it? The webtoon?
It didn't really have a time skip. The time skip was at the very last end for the last few panels. Macam okay, dah kahwin, betul dah anak ke benda tak silap.
Okay.
Yeah, but the key point here is that Hari did not accept the wedding. Hari did not accept the proposal by being quote unquote by some people gaslighted into it by her best friend and the atuk because of some whatever conflict within her and Tae-Moo. So they threw that up, which is logical sebab webtoon ni dah lama. So diorang punya adaptation tu they feel that okay, kita tak patut ada benda-benda macam ni, benda ni dah kolot dah cumut. My personal opinion is that they should have added an extra 15 minutes because it's a finale. Then it would have been fine.
Yep. Yes.
So what they could have done was
Dato in US,
So they could have kept the time skip. They could have kept the time skip as it is, tapi before the time skip, they added another 10 to 15 minutes to basically have the scene where Tae-Moo cakap, I need to go to New York, we cannot wait. So tapi, if you ask me, that scene was there. I would like you to follow me to New York. And then Hari yang decline, Hari kata, tak boleh, benda ni is not right. So, I feel that it's there. So, I think they feel that kalau kita tambah lagi 10 minit pun tak guna because we'll be talking about the same thing. And the show has been well known for being very punchy. So they do not spend any extra unnecessary time on every arc or every subplot. So aku rasa I think it's just too polished lah. If there's anything that I would like to comment on, it's just too polished lah, the ending. No, I don't know. Dia tak create banyak thread. You kena faham, the thread that they created in episode 11 adalah lanjutan daripada threads or arcs from the previous episodes. So the thread that they introduced in episode 11 are just lanjutan, which if you do not resolve it, then those characters will be rushing into episode 11 where everybody gets the happy ending that everyone's expecting. So the good thing about this show is that every character breathes. So aku rasa it was just too polished. I think if they added an extra 15 to 20 minutes in the last episode, that would have resolved it. It would have been.
Yeah. I really wanted to see the grandpa healthy in New York.
Yeah, at least I don't have a problem with New York. A lot of people kutuk New York because semua orang tengah masih lagi bengang dengan 25-21. We could have seen them happy at New York. Itu je ada the grandpa healthy in New York. That's pretty much it lah, if you ask me. Aku tak impose sangat the fact that kita kena tengok benda tu at the end. I've come to accept that, despite the fact that aku pun rasa benda ni it's not underwhelming lah, but it's just dah beda. That was how I felt. Like many people, I was checking the runtime. Lagi 20 minit, lagi 15 minit, lagi 10 minit.
I missing something. Yeah.
Aku rasa macam
I think it was just too polished.
Boba Fett punya ending.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Lepas tu Chewbacca tu makan orange.
I wouldn't say that lah. For me, Boba Fett was because it did not even go where I expected
the
it.
The Mandalorian episode mengacau the Boba Fett series.
Yeah, correct. It was because of the Mandalorian punya introduction. Although reading subreddit,
Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker semua, you take me away. And I suka benda tu lagi daripada Boba Fett.
Yes.
That being said, ada a few YouTube channels and dengan subreddit cakap that while the creators could have created a Boba Fett story because there is not much Boba Fett story post dia hidup balik. So dia boleh buat je apa-apa yang dia nak buat. The creators opted to go look into Mandalorian because they felt that kalau they invested the episodes into Boba Fett, dia nak pergi mana dengan Boba Fett tu?
No, I felt like right up to before Mando punya episode, the one where he went on a vision quest and he came back with that piece of wood which eventually became his weapon. I love that shit. I want to know more about Tatooine and that.
I know, but the thing is, for me lah, that part was a flashback as opposed to pushing the story forward. So Boba Fett punya character cannot push the lore forward, but this is the theory lah. May not be able to push the lore as far forward as Mandalorian with Grogu, or as bringing Luke back into the knee, because Boba is not gonna be generally interacting with any of these two people, which are the characters yang akan push the story forward to the sequels lah. Kan? So that is the theory that many people have when they are being forgiving towards Boba Fett lah. That does not mean that all of us did not feel macam lah tu je. Benda ni. So I feel that maybe that was a sacrifice that was done on Favreau dengan Filoni lah. Okay lah, Boba Fett sampai sini je cerita kau.
Yeah.
Sebab kau memang tak boleh nak bawa cerita ni ke depan dah. Because kau punya world dengan kau punya arc ni, lepas kau dapat kesedaran lah apa benda lepak dengan the these warriors, it's not going to be relevant to the bigger
Yes.
arc
To the
of Star
bigger
Wars. To the bigger ni lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that teori tu. So going back to business proposal, aku rasa it was just too polished lah. No, aku dah explain dah tadi, Mawi. Yura punya arc dia tak boleh habis. It makes sense
dekat
to
bar
us.
saja. Dekat
bar.
saja,
It makes sense to us for it to end in the bar, but it doesn't make sense for Yura specifically to end in the bar because dia petty. Dia vindictive. So dia dah datang balik lepas 7 tahun dia buat masalah lagi. So it is impossible for her to not do anything and let it go. So she is not going to go to her office. She is not going to go and write an email to the company to say that Tae-Moo tengah dating dengan Hari. So what would be the most petty damaging thing that she could do? Which is the social media post lah, because social media post tu duk cakap pasal ex-boyfriend dia dengan Hari. So benda tu akan keluar dekat feed dia dan dia akan trigger, so dia akan respond. So it's a very natural thing to her character. So we don't need that because we don't care about her, but Yura as the character needs that in the story. In the world. Yoon-Seo's father, kita perlukan benda tu because the very reason how Yoon-Seo ended up with Seong-Hoon as neighbors is because she left the father. Because of the father. So we needed to resolve that because kalau diorang nak kena kahwin, dia kena dapat approval daripada bapak dia. So both these couples got the approvals in very different ways lah. So you needed the Yoon-Seo father punya scene because otherwise the Yoon-Seo is just an assertive character. Tapi dalam semua assertif kau dengan bapak kau tak boleh ni. Tapi awal-awal kau keluar daripada rumah. So keluar daripada rumah tu apa? Kau merajuk. So and then
this whole thing started because she didn't want to go on the date in the first place.
She wanted to go in the date in the first place. And the father was very insistent on sending her blind dates. And then bapak dia agak obsessed about that. So you kind of have to give the father that 10 minutes where sebenarnya bapak kau hopeless. Kau nak jadi baik pun kau bukan baik untuk aku, kau baik untuk kau for your whatever it is. So the father kind of needed that 10 minutes lah.
Yes.
The grandfather was building up to it. We all wanted to see Harabuji accepting her.
That's the thing. Another 15 minutes Another 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's at least another 50 to 10 minutes cukup because it's basically it's too polished lah. So aku rasa I do not know, but I feel that what needed to be there was that. Cuma it was too polished, so kita tak rasa benda tu macam happy. But that being said, aku rasa dalam kepolish-polishan tu pun they did not betray the characters lah. I think Tae-Moo was very consistent, Hari was consistent, Young-Seo dengan Seong-Hoon was quite consistent. So I think it was just it was just too polished lah. That's just it.
And korang semua kena tahu out of the 3 shows that ended this week, iaitu 25-21, Forecasting Love and Weather dan Business Proposal, this is the best ending. Come on guys, come on. It's like
aku akan cakap 25-21 has the best ending, but that's just a personal opinion.
Alright guys, so dengan itu kita bakal membincangkan 3 plot menarik daripada finale minggu ini. Alright, jadi segmen pertama kita adalah tentang the leads, Tae-Moo dan juga Hari. Aku ada satu soalan untuk semua panelis. Apakah pendapat anda tentang the final hurdle of Chairman Kang yang against Tae-Moo kahwin dengan Hari? Did it sour the series for you? Atau adakah ini an appropriate final boss? I did not expect this at all. I mean, dia dah tengok kot K-drama tu. And then he ended up becoming that K-drama character yang lempang-lempang orang dengan pork chop tu. How ironic. Silakan. Apa pendapat kau, Jamal? Silakan.
Aku rasa it's fair sebab he wouldn't know because kita yang tengok benda tu, sebab tu benda tu meta. So bila dia tengok benda tu, dia takkan nak kaitkan benda tu dengan anak dia dengan Hari lah. Okay, it would have been cute if that were to happen. I would have loved it if they did that, but I don't have an issue that they didn't do that. Sebab kalau dia reference balik series tu, then it will be too obnoxious lah. Kau dah letak series tu as meta. Atuk dia tengok series tu not realizing how meta it is. So it should remain as that. So kalau atuk dia react using the issue as a point, then aku rasa benda tu too much lah. You're trying to be too clever when you don't really need to. But aku rasa it's fair because the very reason why Tae-Moo went on the blind date in the first place was because of the atuk. So the atuk had to be the final boss. And aku rasa kalau atuk dia sejuk hati cepat sangat, it will cheapen the atuk lah, aku rasa. Sebab tu aku cakap just an extra 15 to 20 minutes. Sebab the atuk dah marah sebab dia kena tipu to the point that he cannot even be happy that Tae-Moo found a partner that he is clearly in love with. So I think the issue here is that atuk tu kena tipu as opposed to plus siapa yang tipu atuk tu. So aku rasa there might have been other ways to resolve it. But I think they both did try to explain themselves to the atuk. And then kalau diorang nak pujuk sangat atuk tu, aku rasa macam a bit unexpected lah. Sebab kau nampak Tae-Moo dengan Seong-Hoon ada the distance, ada boundaries dengan atuk dia. There's a lot of deep respect to the atuk. They do not grovel, they do not pujuk gila babi. They have always maintained that. Macam okay, atuk dia macam ni, harabuji macam ni, kita kena respect dia. Kalau harabuji marah, kita tak boleh melawan sangat. Kita boleh merajuk apa semua, but we don't grovel, we don't macam maki atau kutuk dia. So bila atuk tu marah, as much as I don't like the fact that Tae-Moo atau Seong-Hoon tak pergi explain betul-betul, aku macam tak boleh buat apa lah, because bila atuk dah marah. And I feel that bila atuk tu pura-pura sakit sebab dia nak blackmail Seong-Hoon, blackmail Tae-Moo, that was the closest they got to the actual webtoon punya ending. Whether atuk macam nak blackmail ataupun gaslight somebody into marrying somebody else. So they kind of took just a little bit of that, but benda tu kantoi terus, which for me is contrived lah. Takkan lah dia dah pakai phone 15-20 tahun tak reti nak switch off kan. So tipu lah tu. Tapi benda nak jadi kan.
Itu although I would have rather the interplay between Hari dengan Datuk tu, that was to me very organic.
No, I think see this is the thing tau. What the characters needed, I feel what the characters needed is that they did their best to convince the atuk that they are good for each other, and atuk tolonglah bagi blessing. So we did not need to see them get married. We needed to see atuk perlahan-lahan buka hati dia dekat Hari. That's all we needed to see. That's what I feel. So kita dapat benda tu. For me, kalau kita dapat benda tu and dia tak boleh tambah lagi 15 minit, I would rather take that than a wedding scene dengan tak ada time skip. Because that is more meaningful, because Hari dengan atuk tu ada bond. Tapi the ideal one is, of course lah, kalau kau dapat extra 15-20 minit, dia fair. It's a finale, come on. Benda ni dah trending dah gila babi kot. So you could have just cepat-cepat tambah je lagi 15-20 minit from the footage yang kau ada. But then again, maybe they did not shoot for that. So they shot for this. So dia tak ada extra footage pun. And what's the point of shooting extra footage, extra shots in the last 2 weeks mata-mata nak buat benda ni? They wouldn't expect it. So aku rasa benda tu meaningful. That scene was meaningful. Because Tae-Moo give Hari space to do that. Hari took it on her own to do that. And it did not cheapen atuk punya karakter, because atuk punya karakter lepas dengar Hari nyanyi, okay, aku suka Hari. Dia faham tak? So tak ada orang punya karakter was put down, and I feel that they needed the space. That being said, I agree dengan Busy. It would have been dengan kau. It would have been nice if the atuk himself said it to Hari. If you do not accept my, basically kalau aku lah, ending yang aku nak masa Tae-Moo nak propose tu, dia kata, oh what she says, what did Harabuji say? And then dia tunjuk, dia call Harabuji, voice call, lepas tu Harabuji cakap, if you refuse to accept Tae-Moo's proposal after everything that you have put me through, you resign from this company now. And then Harabuji gelak.
Betul. Tapi secara lawak lah. Secara
lawak lah. That would have been funny sebab macam, oh, aku suruh kau resign, kau tak nak resign sebab kau kata kau staff bagus. Okay, sekarang aku nak kau kahwin dengan anak aku. Dengan cucu aku. Sebab aku dah approve lah. So macam, kalau kau tak nak kahwin, you will hurt me and you will hurt my cucu, so you kena resign dari company ni. So it would have been funny. Because that would have poked fun at the actual webtoon punya ending. So but again, I only realized this when I'm talking to you guys. So I think it's alright. Aku rasa he needed to be the final boss, and he the approval needed to be the final boss. So kita dapat dua very nice endings. Kawan baik dia, assertive, tapi abah, you know what? Aku balas nak layan kau dah. You never celebrate my birthday. Okay? And then for Tae-Moo pula, tak apa, Harabuji, I prioritize you. We take you to New York, we go for the treatment. my love life can wait. Because she can wait for me and she will wait for me and I will wait for her. And then atuk dia kat sana macam, yeah, I guess we do need that scene. Macam, you really love her. Yes, I do. Okay, so if I don't let you marry her, what will happen? I will resign.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as simple
Because
as that.
only one of us can be working in the company kan. So I will resign if she doesn't want to resign. And then Arab Buji kata, then you better make her resign. So why? Because then you better make her resign if she doesn't want to marry you. And then baru Tae-Moo cakap, what do you mean? And then and then lepas tu macam hari call. That would have been funny, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sebab benda ni semua hindsight.
Betul. Tarmizi, anything to add? Silakan.
Yeah, I personally the Harabuji ni is not is done in a way that is not macam, although is dia ni the final boss, the final hurdle yang macam this couple yang nak go through, but dia tak done in a way macam antagonistically, macam usually watak-watak apa dia bakar bab mertua dalam local drama yang kita rasa benci gila apa-apa semua, walaupun he's against it because dia punya reason yang from our view is valid reason, sebab banyak benda info yang dia tak dapat, dia tak ada tengok the actual macam mana dia dua orang ni, so it makes sense for him untuk against this relationship. But because plus the comedy punya ni, dia pun macam apa ada tu sikit, so we actually love him walaupun kita tak agree with him, we love him. So that is a triumph lah for this. What's more, yes, the 15-20 minute scene macam just nice. It's macam it's like macam aku pergi restoran, aku order nasi goreng dengan telur mata. Aku biasa nak telur mata yang tengah tu lembut, tapi dia bagi aku telur mata yang tengah tu keras. Aku still boleh makan, cuma macam okay, tak berapa. So itulah, sedap-sedap, tapi kepuasan tu bila kau lepas makan tu macam agak kurang sikit. But the overall is good, characterization is good. Aku suka macam the subverting expectation ni, where macam ada banyak-banyak macam thread subplots yang kalau drama biasa dia akan jadikan benda tu as a subplot point yang macam lerek-lerek apa-apa semua. But the way character ni, this character behave, dia macam agak matang lah. Macam ada isu, terus confront, terus bincang, terus resolve, and convincing lah. So dengan character macam okay, walaupun dia ada something yang misunderstanding, you just confront, you tanya betul-betul, dan the party pun macam jawab dengan jujur betul, and then macam okay, they resolve. So that is macam what is we like about this drama and what we like about this couple lah. Sebab tiba dia dapat news kata dia ada skandal dengan siapa-siapa, instead of macam panik, risau, cemburu apa-apa semua, dia just waited, and then bila Tae-Moo sampai, just tanya macam this is macam sebab dia mak bapak dia saja nak ni apa semua, and then terus bawa pergi propose dekat bawah pohon sakura.
Part yang kau kata mak bapak dia tu, aku teringat kan dia kata that cellist punya mak bapak tak restu dia punya dating dengan siapa, dengan the student,
foreign student,
the foreign student tu. So dia buat ni in Korea, using social media to character assassinate, regardless if it comes from a valid place, is a common thing. So macam the Uncanny Counter punya lead, the boy lepas famous, within a month of the series ending yang meletup, terus ada orang share benda tu. So masa dia kat international school dekat New Zealand, so macam Kim Seong-Hoon KSH, right after hometown Cha-Cha-Cha meletup, terus within a month dia punya ex-girlfriend character assassinate. So and then nobody knows the truth lah. Nobody really knows the truth. Because kalau kau dengar belah ex-girlfriend dia, benda ni sounds plausible. Kalau kau dengar daripada belah KSH punya camp, dia siap bagi timestamp, dia siap bagi chats, dia siap bagi accounts from people who are just not his friends, but also his ex-girlfriends punya friends yang dah macam tak kawan dah. Tapi kalau kau dengar people who comment on the issue, kau akan kata, oh KSH ni pasal muka je, semua lelaki kat Korea sama. And then kau dengar kat camp, orang-orang yang sama KSH pula, perempuan kat Korea ni kalau dia dah mengang, dia dah ni, dia akan buat macam tu. So benda-benda macam ni is a common thing, and what I am particularly, aku tak adalah impressed gila babi sebab dia tak buat komentari pun, dia just mention je. But this series dia petik benda-benda macam ni. So dia cakap pasal SNS tu via two separate occasions. Satu yang kau cakap tadi, parents scandal Tae-Moo dengan Yura buat hal. Lepas tu yang case orang suka letak spy cam tu, and the trauma of people not feeling afraid to go into public toilets. So interestingly, this series in all manners dia sangat polish lah. Cuma because dia punya comedy dengan humor OTT overload, so kita tak nampak benda tu. Tapi bila sampai kat last episode, probably the episode that they shouldn't be as polished, they made it polished. So kita macam, alah kau ni tak payahlah clean sebab dah 11 episode dah kot and it's a finale. We don't need you to be so clean anymore. You kind of have been quite polished for the entire series because you did this. There's so many things that you did right and so many things you did well kan.
Give me my happy ending.
I think ada macam mana, I want to see my happy ending. It's not that they didn't give us, macam 25-21 dia tak bagi langsung. Ini dia bagi tapi macam imagination korang lah.
Oh no, I want to see.
Tak, the thing is aku tak tahu. Like commenting on this weekend, past weekend macam susah sebab a business proposal banyak gila romcom. Like banyak gila romcom. Ending dia macam mana yang kau nak, macam kita nak. So in the last couple of years, banyak light / mature / slice of life punya romcoms ni dia, okay, we will not give you that celebratory festive ending sangat, but we will give you the happy ending as long as the characters deserve them. So there is slowly there's a change to that, because every few years, dia ada cycle. Every few years they will move away from the tropes, which is what I'm starting to notice. There are certain tropes they keep on bringing back just to make fun of it. Boyfriend, girlfriend ada trauma dengan hujan. Okay, tu they just bring it for fun. Itu for fun je. Time skip, bawa balik for fun je. But the rest they try to subvert lah. Macam 25-21, banyak orang yang dibuai cerita tu blames the marketing for like, okay, you are selling this as a rom-com, as a coming of age, romantic, whatever. Tetapi at the end, it was basically, that was the premise, but the actual story or arc was about how people who suffer, people come of age during a crisis punya time. So sebab backdrop dia IMF. So Becky Jean punya karakter ada major trauma issues that dia tak reti proses. Tetapi because dia jumpa Hido punya karakter, he thought he was overcoming that. But what he was doing instead was that he was using her as an excuse to not process his pain. So when they start to mature as adults, and she realizes that you are not sharing with me, and Yijin pula kata, kenapa kau tak faham aku tak boleh nak share dengan kau, then it became a natural point for them to split lah. But a lot of people susah nak terima benda tu because they wanted to see them together because they were perfect during their
Who
years
did the
together.
mom eventually marry? We still don't know until the end.
Nobody knew, and that was not the point of the story, because the point of the story was how the daughter Minche baca the knee and realized that she was more like her mom. Because Minche never really...
Kalau kita cover, I think I will be bitching about that in the finale.
Yeah. Because the story of is halfway through reading it, she started to be apologetic towards the mom. Kenapa mak suka paksa aku buat ballet? Because the mother went through fencing. But she, and like many kids, got caught up in the siapa laki ni, because obviously this guy was so important.
Meja ni tak ada apa-apa nothing to do except baca diary je.
Yes.
No.
She is
That was
our
the doctor.
She is
That
our
was the
Yelah,
doctor.
doctor
That's
tu
the
lah.
lead in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is basically the doctor tengok mak dia, and then halfway through the series she started to macam, okay, I understand my mother a bit more now. Why she is like this? Why didn't insist aku nak buat ballet? Lepas tu in episode 10 ke 12 dia cakap kat mak dia, mak, I nak sambung ballet. I know I wanted to quit, but I think I don't want to waste my youth. I want to experience whatever I can experience because youth only comes once. So she doesn't even say, Mom, I want to know, because she knows that Baek Hee-jin is not her father. And dia tak ada issue dengan bapak dia. Faham tak?
Yeah.
So in many
Dia
ways
tu bapak dia.
It's just fan lah. Fan yang
it's just fan
mengharap. Yeah.
fan yang mengharap, because biasalah fans kan. So the daughter pula did not go through with absent father, absent mother punya issue like how Kido, her mother, went through. So in that sense, the mother dah lengkapkan cycle tu. Tetapi mak dia sebab tak pernah jumpa balik diary dia yang hilang tu, mak dia needed to apologize one last time to Yijin because she felt that she could have let him go better. Tu je. So banyak orang nakkan the rom-com. Tu je. So I felt that it was a very wholesome adult coming of age lah. And separate episode ke separate discussion, how many can for now overlook the layers of depth that the writers had for writing Yijin punya character, because he processed his pain by not processing it, by thinking that he needed to protect other people from the same pain he got. He thought that was him processing his pain, tapi bila dia protect orang lain, dia tak process pain dia. Jadi bila dia dah tak boleh protect, because he's running away, so bila dia dah tak boleh protect orang lain, dia rasa dia dah tak ada benda nak offer kepada orang-orang ni. So dia kata, aku tak nak jadi kawan kau. I do not deserve happiness from you because I don't deserve happiness. So orang-orang ni kata macam, wait dude, I grew up with pain my entire life. For me, if you share your pain with me, you don't have to be happy because I am happy that we are sharing our pain together. That is Hido punya character. So there's a lot of depth in writing Yijin punya character, because for him, aku kena sacrifice myself. If I don't, that is I do not deserve to feel any happiness. So
I have to say, Mamat tu has more depth in this series 25-21 than he ever did in Startup. Startup dia kayu tu.
Startup kita kena marah writer lah. So a lot of people marah dengan series 25-21 ni because they didn't get the ending, and then they kata it's realistic, tapi it's not just realistic for me lah. There's a lot of depth in writing the character. Itu pun aku kena go through a lot of subreddit comments to like, this is basically what I feel, but people articulate better. Tak tunjuk wajah CBF, ex-BF dia sampai sudah tak nampak pun. Sebab tak perlu, because dia dah lepaskan Yijin dah lepaskan dia dekat tunnel tu. Beza dia Hido tak forgive herself for letting Yijin go like that. So she needed to go to the tunnel and make peace with herself, not make peace with Yijin. And for Yijin, like many people, Hido is her first love, his true first love. Tetapi the epilogue, dia log on dekat company dia punya old system. Lepas tu dia kata, alamak, kau tengok password kau ke? Dia kata, ni dah 15 tahun lepas, dah 15 tahun aku tak login. Dia go through dia punya security reset. Who is your first love? Dia tak nama Nahido. Now, so there's a lot of people, that shit happens. Macam kita tak ada masalah nak declare, okay, ini first love aku. Tapi bro, that was 15-20 years ago. You know, life goes on.
So, biasanya tanya nama pet, nama kampung,
nama pet ke, nama bapak ke, nama family.
First love ada bro.
Nama first love ada je. Nama first love ada je. So like, So yeah, it's those kind of stuff lah. So aku rasa this weekend fucked up a lot of people lah.
Tak pernah bercinta, tak ada security lah. Oh kesian.
Kalau cinta kau macam Seong-Hoon dengan Young-Seo, ada security. Aku tak buat business. Nah, this is my savings, 1.7 billion.
terus.
Itu security
girl. But I want a business proposal first.
Actually that's a good. Actually bila kau point out benda tu, that's pretty cool. That's clever writing. I want to see your business plan. Dia tak cakap business proposal lah. I want to see your business plan. But then again, Netflix punya translation banyak orang kutuk tau, because Netflix punya translation banyak reduktif. So they pander to the viewers, American viewers, as opposed to being very faithful to the Korean punya actual script.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if in the actual colloquial context, Seong-Hoon punya line adalah, yes, you need to show me a business proposal first. If that was the case, then it's clever writing. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Alright guys, so that brings us kepada plot menarik kita yang kedua. Alright, so plot menarik kita yang kedua is about the second leads, Seong-Hoon dan juga Young-Seo. Dan soalan aku untuk semua panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang Chairman Jin menjadi batu penghalang kepada happy ending Secretary Cha dengan Jin Young-Seo? Did it sour the series for you atau adakah ini an appropriate final boss? Kita mulakan dengan Tarmizi, silakan.
It does not sour the series. We still get the enjoyment seeing them overcoming that. But kita dapat teaser in the episode 9 something yang the father was checking up and macam benda tu ditunjuk macam ada something sinister going on apa-apa semua. But then bila actually the father confront, ajak dinner, ada that sus tu ada lagi suspicion, you nak cakap don't date my daughter apa-apa semua. And then dia cakap, oh okay, bila Young-Seo marah dia, why you are checking him? Kata, why not? If my future son-in-law, why cannot check him? So they were mistaken that benda tu adalah is an approval. Padahal macam macam sarcastic sikit lah, dia macam not really sincere, macam nak bagi approval. Lepas tu and then you get the proposal scene which is agak to me macam it's nice to see lah. Don't know heartwarming ke tak, tapi macam I don't know, Secretary Cha was very cool. You simpan like 1.7 billion, so you boleh beli diamond ring macam tu saja for just a birthday present. Yang Young-Seo ingat macam, oh this is a proposal. No, it's a birthday present. But when you gonna propose? Eventually I propose lah after I get your father's approval. Kan semalam my father dah approve, so kita propose lah. Terus witty, why you take my sentence? You always take my sentences. So terus ni macam really bad. So senyum. It was a beautiful episode 11 punya ending. So until that phone call macam shit. Why you have to be such an asshole, Dad?
Itu lah, dia macam flip flop. Dia macam plot twist. Lepas tu surprise plot twist. Macam double plot twist.
I mean okay, dia macam they don't want macam to extend sebab we already like Seong-Hoon dengan Young-Seo. They already proposed, they already comfortable with each other, dia orang dah macam dah on the same level each other, intimacy apa-apa semua ada. So macam dia tunjukkan her dad ni tak approve tu is not a major obstacle. Terus macam buat a brave decision. Okay father, I resign. You dah macam thank you for raising me, but I tak setuju you punya tindakan apa semua. You halau mak because not your standard and you don't even remember my birthday today. So goodbye, I will live up my own. It's kind of sad lah kalau you end your relationship with your father like that, but given that your father macam apa yang kita nampak kind of deserve it, and then you decide okay, I'll live on my own, start my new company, and live and marry my boyfriend. Lepas tu kebetulan boyfriend tu ada simpanan akaun besar, so it's conveniently semua settle. So it's tak for me it's I can accept the ending. it's still macam sweet, it's still macam the wholesome tu still ada lagi apa semua. But macam tu lah, macam the way, because I want like macam another episode or another like 10, 15, 20 minutes macam macam a little bit more nak tengok dia punya wholesome tu lah. This is just a personal lah, it's not macam it will improve the story or anything apa semua. It's just I like seeing them together. So I like to see them, the journey macam dia tu apa-apa semua. Maybe macam the time skip would have been like Young-Seo tu dah establish the company and they together macam uruskan benda ni and they look happy. So that's just macam personal preference lah. So it's not, I think it's not essential. But kalau dia buat benda tu macam it makes my day lah.
Nice one. Jamal, pada pendapat kau, do you like the flip-flopping? Were you intrigued? Ataupun macam, alah, kejap okey, kejap tak okey? Silakan. I think you're on mute. You're on mute, bro.
Aku rasa Young-Seo's father got just the right amount of screen time he deserved. Dialogues aside, what happens in the screen during the screen time aside, he got just the right amount of screen time he deserved. Because he doesn't have to say a lot, and we already hear or get a lot of impression about his character from how Young-Seo talks about him and from how Young-Seo decides. So because Young-Seo is a wholesome, solid 3D character, whatever she says and however she says about her dad, whatever she says about that and however she says them, is enough to paint a picture of the father. Because in a manner of speaking, in some of her actions, it is a direct result of her opposition to her dad, or is a direct result of her wanting to her wanting to respond or react to what the dad said or what the dad did. But she has never used that as a crutch or as a rant on your point. Kau jarang, almost never dengar dia petik bapak dia. Sebab because she's a 3D wholesome character. Okay, aku decide aku nak belah daripada rumah. Pengen aku tak boleh buat, aku boleh buat. Okay lah, aku belah. So, bila dia kata, alah, aku tak ada duit lah bulan ni, dia tak pernah kata, should I have kept the credit card? Not even once as a joke. Probably once je tak silap aku. So, she doesn't do that. So kita dah dapat cukup sense of how constricting the father is, and a bigger reason why she doesn't have to petik her father is because dia dah free daripada bapak dia. Kalau dia dah free daripada bapak dia, dia dah lepak dengan kawan dia, dia dah duduk rumah sendiri, jiran dengan dia punya crush, lepas tu couple dengan jiran dia. Kenapa dia kena keep on bringing up her dad balik, betul tak? So the fact that the dad stalk her adds further lends further credibility to that lah. So bila dia tahu bapak dia buat macam tu, dia bukan macam mengamuk dah. Sebab masa bapak dia bawa dia pergi dinner pun dia macam, okay, this feels a bit too good to be true, but I'm glad. I'm just glad. I'm not happy, I'm not excited, I'm just glad for us. Not glad for my father. Nampak tak dia dah tak kisahkan bapak dia. Typically kalau macam bapak dia buat a U-turn, anak dia akan, oh, I'm glad that abah dah macam tu. So now I can be happy with abah again, or I can reconnect with abah. Dia tak cakap apa benda tu. Dia just cakap, I am glad for us that abah dah tak macam tu and it's not getting in our way. Meaning dia tak fully believe that the father macam tu, atau just does not have enough of a connection with the father to feel that whatever the father said, which was a lie, was something that meaningful to her anymore. Dia just macam, yes, bonus. And then kantoi bapak dia cakap macam tu. So nampak tak bila bapak dia kantoi on the phone dengan Seong-Hoon, her reaction wasn't to flip out. Her reaction was to take the phone. You know what? This is the last time I'm gonna layan benda bullshit macam ni dengan you. Oh, she ended the call. Why? Because it was not surprising to her. So for me, it was nicely done. So the father did not even deserve that. And then the bonus that we got, I feel, was the fact that dia nak breakfast dengan family hari, and then she slips it in a line. That was very good writing. Oh, they always serve me soup during my birthday or on my birthday. So come, I want you to have soup with them because I'm her second daughter. So she brings the boyfriend over. So they have the makan-makan. And aku tengok scene tu aku dah tahu dah. Okay, confirm bapak dia lepas ni kalau bapak dia keluar balik, point ni akan naik. Betul lah point dia naik. Dia pergi jumpa bapak dia bagi resignation letter. Did you know that today's my birthday? So bapak dia terkejut. The fact that bapak dia tak tahu yang dia spend birthday dia dengan parents orang lain is the killer here. It's not the fact that bapak dia tak ingat birthday dia. It's the fact that dia dah tak kisah bapak dia tak spend birthday dengan dia. Kalau bapak dia ingat bagi dia hadiah, lagi dia tak percaya. So, I feel that the father got just enough screen time and the father was filled up off screen and indirectly from Seong-Hoon punya character. Just nice. So, bila kita tengok bapak dia, even when bapak dia macam, yelah kalau aku tak dinner dengan bakal mentua aku ni, macam mana aku nak boleh accept dia? Pun kita akan ada macam that small 5-10% of like, okay. Yeah. So, I think it was well done. Aku tak ada issue dengan benda ni. Aku tak ada issue at all. An extra 5 to 10 minutes would have fleshed it out a bit better. If we got that, it would be awesome. If we didn't get that, I'm not really complaining, I'm just pointing it out.
I was afraid that macam dia when Seong-Hoon got the call, dia kalau kebiasaannya benda tu akan dijadikan subplot. Tiba-tiba macam Seong-Hoon jauhkan diri pada Young-Seo because ni apa-apa semua. But I'm glad macam Young-Seo terus rapas telefon dan terus resolve kat situ.
Yep. Correct. So dia, and then lepas tu to finalize matters, bapak aku hopeless, okay lah aku resign. And I like it because kalau kau tengok rom-com lain atau parenthesis melodrama lain, mak cousin dia akan buat hal. So mak cousin dia tu tak menyemak pun. Lepas cousin dia give up, okay, dah kau tak payah menyibuk. You know, so it's pretty nicely done. Kalau dia ada an extra 5 minutes on this couple, probably the mother will come. I would like to see the mother. Tapi mak dia nak menunjukkan beza boomer dengan generasi diorang. Mak dia datang dengan anak dia cakap, oh you know what, family you macam ni lah, kita nak kahwin tu ya family. Lepas tu cousin, and then daughter you buat hal macam ni. Lepas tu Young-Seo cakap, elok lah korang ada, aku dah takkan buat hal dah, aku resign. So abah, kalau kau nak cousin I ni jadi ganti I jadi staff, dipersilakan, it's your company. You wanted to pass it to me because you were afraid to lose it in the first place. Tapi pandai-pandai kau handle makcik aku seorang ni. Lepas tu cousin dia pula kata, oh, I never wanted this role, you can have it by yourself. Lepas tu dua-dua belah. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
actually,
nampak
kan,
dua orang tua yang
nampak extra. Yeah.
Nampak extra. That is the extra that I wouldn't mind having.
Betul. I like that cousin dia was very supportive of the relationship. Dia macam tak apa, I akan jaga secret you from your father.
Tapi bukan sebab you. Bukan untuk you. I akan jaga secret you sebab
I suka boyfriend you.
Yeah.
That was very in
benda,
character.
Yeah.
In character.
And then that one very consistent and dia tak payah bazir masa an extra 15 minutes. That conversation was 3 minutes je. Settle.
Tapi
so, aku macam
you like, thanks.
Yep. Betul lah tu.
Alright, sorry aku mengacau Jamal di WhatsApp. Tolonglah turn off sound kau tu. Agak awkward bila aku bercakap dengan kau. Tapi kita tengah bercakap kat sini. Okay, anyway.
Sound WhatsApp aku ke?
Keting. Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
It's like macam kau berdating lepas tu.
Macam
kalau
kita tak
dating,
dating.
kalau dating ada ting tu okey apa? I don't think it's ni because kalau tidak dia akan jadi date je lah.
Dia tak ada ting. Okay. So Ikwan 158 berkata, lepas ni apa K-drama korang nak review weekly? Saya tak sabar K-drama baru Again My Life, adaptasi dari webtoon. So far aku dah tengok trailer Tomorrow. It looks pretty interesting though. Tentang it's like fantastical, dunia mati and stuff like that.
Oh yang apa
aku
koma
dah
lepas
tengok
tu jadi Green
episodes.
Reaper tu.
Aku dah tengok first 2 episodes. The first episode aku tak suka sebab nampak campy.
Dah keluar
Tapi second episode macam I'm gonna give this 2 more episodes. The Tomorrow dia punya premise is basically anak muda pergi cari kerja, lepas tu tak dapat kerja, and then dia macam kenapa hidup aku macam ni, and then on his way back ada orang nak bunuh diri. So dia nak selamatkan orang tu daripada bunuh diri. Namun sebenarnya ada satu department dalam Shinigami, dalam the spirit punya realm ni, yang kerja diorang khas untuk menyelamatkan orang Korea daripada bunuh diri. Kerana statistik telah menyatakan yang kadar kelahiran anak sangat rendah dan kadar bunuh diri sangat tinggi di Korea. Jadi Shinigami dia telah membuat satu usaha untuk membendung dan membantras keadaan ini dengan membuat satu division, satu biro unit nama Risk Management Team. Risk Management ni bila dia dapat orang ada negative energy, dia nak bunuh diri, okay, Risk Management akan pergi dan stop orang tu bunuh diri. So Mamat yang yang terdapat kerja ni, dia nak selamatkan orang yang nak bunuh diri, Risk Management Team nak selamatkan orang bunuh diri, dia tak sengaja terjatuh ke dalam sungai. So Risk Management Team macam, oh shit, kita kena selamatkan orang ni. Lepas tu bila dia naik atas, dia orang meeting, korang ni buat hal lah, nak selamatkan nyawa pun tak boleh lah. Korang ni, Risk Management Team ni kena disband. Lepas tu macam the boss of Risk Management Team kata, macam mana kita orang fuck up? Tak cukup staff. Lepas tu korang duk bising-bising tak nak bagi kita orang staff. Lepas tu macam the god cakap, okay lah, aku bagi korang extra staff. Ni budak yang selamat yang tengah koma ni, yang kacau job korang ni, staff baru korang. Nak tak? Kalau korang tak nak, aku disband sekarang. Okay, aku ambil staff baru. So the story is that
Birokrasi heaven.
It seems very funny lah.
It seems very funny. Like kalau kau macam kau tengok Bleach atau Naruto, tapi ni version Bleach yang agak lawak ah. But in the second episode, it takes a serious turn. Sebab disebabkan Mamat ni adalah manusia, separuh soul. Sebab dia koma. So dia tak mati lagi. So dia half-half. So dia masih lagi terikat dengan dunia ni. Jadi bila dia nak pergi selamatkan orang yang bunuh diri, diorang buat investigation lah. Kenapa orang ni nak bunuh diri? And then they find out, oh ini trauma dia, ini case dia. So yang half-half ni, dia macam emotional. Celaka orang-orang ni, pukimat, bully ni, I have to stop them. So then the risk management team kata, kau tak boleh interfere, kau kena just be there at the moment dia nak bunuh diri.
So dia pergi macam off topic.
Kau kena you have to be there when they are killing themselves and you have to stop them there. You cannot interfere with their life. You tak boleh buat benda lain. Lepas tu yang Hafam ni kata tak boleh, benda ni salah. So then it becomes interesting for me because macam okay, now we get interaction. Nice. In the second episode, diorang nak kaji kenapa perempuan ni nak bunuh diri. Diorang pergi ambil memory key. So dia masuk kat dalam memory perempuan tu nak tahu trauma dia apa. And then they discover what the trauma was, which is bullying. So this guy could not macam, I'm not gonna let this shit go. I don't care if I get disciplined by God or by you. She should never get this treatment. So dia macam, it's very interesting lah.
It seems very inventive, like an anime.
Sangat.
Is it based on a webtoon or anything?
I don't know. Aku tak research lagi. Yang aku personally looking forward is My Liberation Notes. Tak silap aku by JTBC. It promises to be another slice of life. So aku, for some reason, aku suka slice of life. And then the rest, I'll just wait for it to come up on my feed.
The risk of melayan K-drama ni, you can have like a K-drama yang brilliant the first couple of episode permulaan,
macam flow,
macam
flow. Ya, betul, macam flow.
So kita
actually, how many episodes should we give them a chance before we give up on that? Sebenarnya.
That's a good question. Kalau engkau tanya aku punya habit adalah 4 to 6. The first 2 is to decide whether you want to watch the first 4. The first 4 is for you to decide whether you want to go halfway or not. At halfway point, for me, aku tak drop. So if it sucks, I will live and die by it. So kalau aku nak drop, aku drop before halfway point. Okay. Tapi I will only reach the halfway point kalau between episodes 4 and 6 is okay. Kalau episodes 4 to 6 is teruk, Chicago Typewriter aku tak sambung. Aku rasa Abyss aku akan drop. Dan aku rasa Inspector Ku aku akan drop. Okay. Because dia patchy. All of it is very patchy. I'm pretty sure Chicago Typewriter, if I last the distance, it will be nice. Sebab ramai orang puji. But I cannot even get past 6. I cannot even get to 4. Wow. So there's no way I can hit the midpoint. So that's the way I do it lah. So aku akan recommend kat korang if the first 2 episodes are decent enough.
So tomorrow ni so far okay.
So far it's fine. You guys can watch it because kalau korang drop it's just 2 hours. So korang tak rasa apa-apa.
So
tapi let me watch the 3rd and the 4th first lah.
Ikon cakap Again My Life ni apa ni? Is that
aku tak tahu, aku kena kaji Again My
Life. Ni apa? Netflix, Disney Plus?
Tak tahulah. Aku Disney Plus ni aku tak.
Ada orang recommend aku
tu.
ni, Crazy Love.
Disney Plus.
Crazy
kan?
Love dia tengah popular sekarang. Dia tak dapat hype sebab business proposal dah tapau semua hype. Dia dah cantas lah. Selit buat apa. So you can watch it.
Terakhir sekali Super Vertigo Blue mengatakan Jamal layan tak military prosecutor Doberman. Wow.
Aku tak sempat layan sebab aku rasa macam nak kena tengok sebab ramai gila orang respon dekat subreddit dan kau pun dah petik. Sebab masa military keluar, aku dah tengah layan 25-21, dah tengah layan Floor, dah tengah layan business proposal, tengah nak habiskan Rookie Corps, tengah nak habiskan Through the Darkness.
Ya.
So memang tak ada space.
Betul.
Kill Hill pun aku tak start tengok because of this 5. So memang tak ada.
Kemudian dia menambah Again My Life, hero mati hidup balik. I think that seems to be
Korea ada banyak cerita macam ni. Abyss pun dia mati hidup balik. Lepas tu dia nak cari dia punya pembunuh siapa.
Macam Ray Zero lah.
A bit. Diorang, the thing is this, they have a lot of, they can be very innovative with their plotting. Diorang macam banyak je cara nak buat cerita-cerita mati hidup balik dan nak justify. You have to sift through lah. Kadang-kadang kena, semua orang suka. Kadang-kadang macam certain people suka, certain people tak suka. Kadang-kadang tak berjadi langsung. So kau kena really sift through. So lah, Hero Again My Life ni dia buat SBS. So kalau SBS ni aku 50-50. Sebab aku for some reason aku macam elitis. Aku kalau JTBC, TVN tengok. KBS 50-50. Itu kalau studio. Kalau network, kalau Studio Dragon buat, more often than not aku akan tengok. So yang Again My Life ni aku tengok dia punya director punya work macam aku tak impress sangat. So aku rasa mungkin kena tengok webtoon tu macam mana. But I won't be surprised kalau aku tak suka sekarang, 4 months from now aku boring tak tahu nak buat apa, aku tengok betul dia suka.
Itulah.
Biasalah.
That's
Alright,
how we
guys,
got here in the first place.
Yes, that's how we got here in the first place. Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke segmen menarik kita yang terakhir. Alright, jadi segmen menarik kita yang terakhir adalah tentang the supporting cast dan mini subplots mereka. So soalan aku untuk panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang the tying up of beberapa mini subplot? Contohnya Yura's Revenge, membokangkan relationship Tae-Moo dan Hari di Sokmed. Kemudian off screen je minta maaf. Baik ya. Aku tak boleh terima tu. Seterusnya, Chef Min-woo break up dengan Yura dan membawa diri ke Eropah. Aku rasa macam fuck off lah. Lepas tu still nak jadi kawan, memang butuh lah. And then last kali subplot yang aku paling minat, Mr. Guy akhirnya menjadi unit head tersendiri. Setaraf dengan Boss You. I think that is the best punya subplot ending. Jadi
Away no.
so, apakah pendapat anda? Kita mulakan dengan Tarmizi, silakan. Yura off screen bro. Yura off screen, dia malu terus.
Itulah, aku tak feel sangat macam subplot Yura dengan Minggu ni. It's I think most of Jamal describe all this plot, banyak plot ni is I think it's adequate. So it just macam nak bagi Yura bila lepas kena sekolahkan dengan Hari, so that's one last bit yang dia nak macam throw the spanner in the works. Itu pun macam dia buat off screen, bukan lepas tu macam tak berapa muncul dah, cuma dalam flashback kan dia tulis that tweet the social media posting semua, and tapi itulah, if Minggu dah break dengan Yura, what would Yura be interested untuk minta maaf dengan Hari? Kau dah lose everything, so biarlah Hari suffer. So bila Miwu cakap Yura said she's sorry, I think just macam untuk either macam it was a lie, just macam untuk Hari just feel better dan tak marah dia lagi, tak marah Miwu lagi, and so that Miwu can be friends. But I don't know, Miwu dia I think satu watak yang I think is conflicted within himself, dia minat Yura, dia tak tahu Yura cheated on her, and then spend 7 years jadi BFF Hari. Hari at that time ada feelings terhadap dia, but he never reciprocate Hari's feelings. And then bila tiba-tiba Yura comes back, dia kembali terjalin, and bila Hari found a new guy, dan jadi masalah pula, and then awkward things happen yang macam jejaskan friendship diorang ni, and then nak minta Hari come back to it. Why?
It's so weird. He had the upper hand for 7 years, and then bila dia macam jealous. Maksudnya aku look down on you because you were a dog loving me for 7 years. Now you have somebody, I want to be your dog. What? Pelik.
Yeah, I think macam kalau if I were Minggu, it's okay lah, you nak jumpa last time, you nak pergi Europe, you want to say goodbye to Hari, macam at least the most you can get is macam just bury the hatchet, say sorry, everything, apa-apa semua. Whether you nak jadi friends or not is Hari's punya call, which Hari correctly put macam with all that happen, I think benda ni should take time kan, kalau kita nak friend macam dulu kan. That was macam terkena lagi. So if you are Minggu, you nak jaga air muka, at least just say sorry, okay, goodbye, I hope you bahagia dengan your guy, apa-apa semua, and just left. So tak perlu macam nak minta nak jadi friend macam dulu apa semua. If everything is cool, it will macam benda tu akan jadi automatically anyway. If kalau you minta sebagai lelaki, you nampak pathetic.
Aku rasa
anyway,
aku rasa with regards to Minwoo punya ni, I think the scene was more about Hari than it is about Minwoo, for 2 reasons. Number one, Hari dah decide that she will not do anything about Yura because dekat bar tu for her is the ending for her. So this is new shit for her, tapi new shit ni is only meant for Yura lah, sebab Yura tak puas hati kan, dia petty. So bila Minwoo datang jumpa dia, it is not her wanting to get answers, it is her macam, okay Minwoo, aku pernah suka dengan kau 7 tahun, kita kawan bla bla bla, kerja sama-sama, a lot of successes, okay lah, you deserve this space. Apa benda kau nak cakap kat aku ni? You deserve this space. But I am not obliged, or maybe I'm not even interested to listen to what you have to agree to what you have to say lah. I will just accept you as wanting to share lah. Tu je lah. So itu satu. Nombor 2 pula, it is for Yura because Yura needed to see what Minwoo had to say to her about all this shit. And if he did not say the right things, or rather if he said the wrong things, then it proved her right lah, for her not going after Minwoo for the longest time, for her maintaining her boundaries, for her reacting the way she did when Minwoo kononnya nak jadi hero, lepas tu pergi tembok Tae-Moo, for being iffy about how Minwoo treated her and Yura, and then for how she felt about Minwoo making her feel bila Minwoo bagi dia tiket konsert tu. So bila Minwoo cakap benda-benda yang kau cakap tu Mizi, betul lah. So Yura macam okay lah, this is the person that I have always expected, or this is the person that I have always known. So he is not going to change, and I have moved on past him as a crush. Maybe not as a friend yet because benda ni kawan friendship ni lama, tapi as a crush aku dah tak ada apa-apa dah dengan kau. Sebab kau tak boleh marah ex-girlfriend kau nak datang minta maaf kat aku. Satu, aku dah kira cukup baik, aku tak marah kau masuk bilik aku, ambil surat, kau tak faham konteks, datang kau tumbuk bos aku, yang at that point in time aku mungkin tak admit kat diri aku dah ada feelings. Lepas tu, tapi the bigger issue here is that kau datang dan kau assume yang kau protect aku, tapi kau tak pernah kisah pasal aku pun. And I share things with you, you don't share things with me. And when I don't share things with you, kau sentak, kenapa kau tak beritahu kat aku? Sebab apa? Bukan sebab kau share things dengan aku, is because aku share things dengan kau. So you kind of took me for a ride in that sense. And I personally know how this feels, because that somebody did that to me before. So aku rasa benda tu Minggu proved Yura her point, even though Yura did not need that. So if there's anything that Yura pula Minwoo. Minwoo proved to Hari. To Hari that Hari made Hari's point was right. If there's the only change I would make to that meeting was that was apa Hari cakap, it doesn't matter now, but I would like you to know that I did not need you protecting me, and you had no business going into my room and into my private life, because I never interfered with yours. So I wish for that line lah, because aku rasa, tapi because Hari is not an antagonistic person, it would be a little unnatural for her to say that. So sayang lah, and Minwoo tak kejar point tu. With regards to Yura, I'm a little disappointed that kita tak nampak dia kena balik, but I cannot think of a way for her to kena balik.
Susah.
Because macam faham tak? Kalau dia nak kena balik, it has to be Hari addressing her.
You need another episode lah.
Which you need another episode, means kau kena ada setup. Kenapa Hari nak kena pergi jumpa Yura? Because Hari dah tinggalkan Yura dengan dengan Minwoo dekat bar. So dia dah sebab dia cakap depan Minwoo kot, aku tak pernah bagi tahu kat Minwoo kau cheating dengan Minwoo sebab apa ni. Dan Minwoo dah dengar dengan mulut kau sendiri, kau sengaja murat dia walaupun kau tak minat dia sebab kau jealous dekat aku, sebab kau jealous aku rapat dengan dia. So dah kira cukup baik aku layan kau, dah kira cukup baik aku layan Minwoo as a friend. So tak nampak lah that character is Yura character kalau dia nak fikir. So aku rasa it is, as much as I'm not satisfied, Yura got away with it. I'm kinda glad that they did not try to write a bit where Yura kena hukum.
Kau tengok dia jadi melirik-lirik, dia akan kacau
melirik-lirik
flow
satu
of the storyline. Yeah.
Itu satu. Dua, aku rasa kalau dia buat benda tu, that is not the biggest obstacle between Hari dengan Tae-Moo pun sebenarnya.
Yeah. It was just a subplot. It was just a subplot. The big level boss.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the final boss.
Yeah. So I'm kind of happy with it. And maybe it's a little
purpose
personal for me lah, sebab aku nak tengok orang macam Yura ni yang buat benda macam what Yura did kena hukum. Not necessarily for her feeling that way, but for what she decided to do with her feelings. Itu isu dia. Sebab aku kena. So aku tahu macam kau nak marah-marah tapi kau jangan tipu sebab kau tak boleh nak terima kenyataan. Lepas tu kau buat benda macam ni, lepas tu kau nyorok.
I guess that is reality, bro.
It is.
Just get to nyorok.
Yes, it is.
Get to nyorok.
That's
we all have our Yuras.
I hope I don't need a Yura lah. I don't need a Yura.
I do not wish a Yura onto anybody.
Yeah,
and macam Hadis ni cakap, Yura, you're actually a nice person. Nanti you get petty. So
tapi tak nampak dia tu petty. Itu yang papi you. Mizi, kau nak tambah tadi apa tadi?
For me macam subplot Yura Minggu is to develop Haris punya karakter. Make dia punya karakter more rounded, more whole lah. So sebelum ni awal-awal kita nampak macam dia ada crush dekat Minggu tu is macam dia have some longing apa-apa semua. Sebab tu macam dia tak boleh see that pas untuk nampak Tae-Moo. So macam dengan resolve-nya the subplot of Minggu dan Yura tu makes her macam penuh lah, so dia boleh move on pada hidup and accept a new guy in her life lah.
Aku rasa I like how they showed just enough in the first 3 minutes. Yang kita tahu Hari minat Minwoo, lepas tu Minwoo tak layan dia sebab Yura came back into his life, and then lepas tu bila Minwoo bagi dia tiket konsert tu, okay, Yura Hari macam I need a bit of time to let this go away, but yeah, okay lah, I'm gonna let Minwoo go. I kind of liked it because benda tu dah established for Hari very early, so it was just a matter of her getting to know Tae-Moo and then figuring out how she is going to be in that relationship. So I kind of like that.
Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah 3 poin menarik tentang finale Business Proposal.
Sekejap, Cop. Aku nak mention one last point.
Silakan.
Pasal Mr. Guy.
Oh, Mr. Guy, kita lupa.
Oh yes, our favourite. Yeah.
Aku just nak point out yang babi siap bawa the entire team datang.
Dia pakai
Dia
slipper
pakai-
kan? Dia yang pakai
Dia pakai slipper. Dia pakai slipper dengan stokin. Lepas tu yang celakanya, lepas team dia heret dia keluar, tak sampai 9 dia dah hari saya kira 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 dia datang balik cakap, I bawa team I sebab I nak diorang nampak yang I marah you. Aku macam babi je. Bodoh sial. Aku rasa benda tu lawak. And I love the fact that in the last 6 episodes, or rather the last 4 episodes, dia adalah the surprise that we never knew we needed. He was the surprise lah. He was the, I do not know what to call it. Sebab kalau dia tak defend Hari dekat co-workers Hari, kalau dia tak impress Kang Tae-Moo dengan buat drinks tu, it would be the finale would have been a disappointment. Sebab kita rasa macam asal flat, tapi because of Mr. Guy, Mr. Guy took it up a level. So yeah.
Definitely. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah 3 plot menarik. Dengan itu kita akan membincangkan rating kami bagi siri ini secara keseluruhan. Personally, I find this to be a very compact K-drama, and then the stakes are awesome every single weekend. Pretty much perfect lah, except for its finale. So rating aku untuk siri Business Proposal adalah 8.5/10. Seterusnya Tarmizi, silakan rating kau untuk siri Business Proposal.
I gave it 9.5. The 0.5 yang poin-poin yang kita bincang tadi tu lah.
Nice. Dan terakhir sekali Jamal, Kaki drama kita, silakan.
Aku setuju dengan Nick, aku bagi 8.5 juga, because dia for me for a K-drama, regardless of genre, to be a 9, dia kena leave a deep emotional, dia kena elicit a deep emotional response or reaction from you, and then that emotional response dia akan jadi kau reflect tentang hidup kau ke, atau macam oh ini adalah coming of age story yang kau tak pernah dapat ke, alah ini ada cerita agung ke apa benda lah, whatever lah, for you. So a 9 should elicit that strong emotional response. So for me, BP is an 8.5 because it cannot go any higher, because it was never meant to be a 9 drama kan, partly because it was adapted. Jadi kalau dia nak jadikan benda tu 9, they need to make really major changes to the webtoon. Then it's not an adaptation anymore lah, it's inspired by. But then again, when you started the project, you just wanted to do an adaptation, so you shouldn't really get mixed up in that. Macam 25-21 for example is an easy 9 from me. Senang-senang. Episode 14 alone is just, dia memang gempak lah. So for me, BP is an 8.5. If I want to be really fair, it is an 8. But because it's very endearing, aku bagi extra 0.5. Because apparently ada a better rom-com in the last 5 years. Aku tengok nama rom-com tu apa. Basically BP but done right, and then you get your happy ending. So aku tak tahu, aku kena tengok series tu. So but for me it's an 8.5 lah.
Yeah,
I can defend an 8.5.
Nak touch on point Jamal, why would you give it 9 above kalau ada that personal attachment. So for me, the personal attachment which aku pergi Google nama Kim Seo Jong ni, and then tengok video YouTube lama-lama dia.
Itu tak kira, itu kau fanboy.
Tak adalah. Macam aku tengok drama Korea lain.
Aku nak judging I'm just responding to it. Monyet kau bagi 9 sebab kau Google Kim Sejong.
So because I'm interested.
It's fine.
Tengok apa drama-drama lain kan. I tak berapa care sangat dia ke apa-apa semua.
Correct.
This one make me care. Dan macam like aku punya celebrity crush has always been Mira Filzah. So sekarang Kim Seo-Jong dah replace her.
Aku for me jarang lah ada show yang aku follow. So typically aku akan bagi 9 kalau show tu macam story wise gempak ke, acting wise gempak ke, ataupun is a combination of everything. So macam the most recent example for me is 2521. Signal is another one of the earliest. Hotel de Luna, dia macam on many different levels lah. So I'm happy that kau pergi follow kau pergi follow Sejong sebab Sejong memang power, like no comments, dia memang power.
Yes.
So sekarang kau kena tengok The Uncanny Counter.
Okay dah, maybe.
Sebab kau akan terkejut yang benda dia adalah Sejong. Aku tengok Business Proposal.
Yes, that's why. Aku tengok
6 season baru aku macam sedar macam Sejong dalam Uncanny Counter.
She has a very wide range of acting. Usually macam orang yang muka ayu ni, kalau Mira Filzah kan, you hanya best bawa watak-watak ayu baik.
Yang ni ada personality bro. Yang ni ada personality.
So yang ni macam especially time when dia bersembunyi dekat pokok-pokok yang Mr. Guy defend dia tu. Masa dia terus pergi dengan peluk dia orang tu, macam okay, you can macam daripada yang gambar ni. Kau watak menggoda semua tu nampak macam comel. And then macam kau main dodgeball tu nampak macam still tu juga. And then masa kau pergi peluk rakan-rakan tu pun nampak macam buhat, happy go lucky apa-apa semua. You still interested nak tengok.
Yes, because she cleans up very well. Masa dia jadi Shin Gyung-hee, aku macam oh my god, ayunya weh.
Macam mana ayat Niklas macam because she cleans up very well. Macam bukan also she cleans up very well. Because she cleans up very well. Aku macam
tak, pasal dia nampak comot tau. Dia dapat sebagai Shin Hari. Dia dapat comot, tapi sebagai Shin Gyung-hee kau macam wow.
Dia masa ending episode 11 semua orang kata, Tae-Moo finally jumpa Samantha and Rachel. Semua bahak sial. Sebab kan Tae-Moo tanya dia, so what kind of person are you? I can I have Samantha, I have Rachel. Lepas tu kan dia nak cerita how wild she can be. Betul tu. Semua orang gelak sial. A lot of that was ad-lib by the way. This series banyak ad-lib. So
yeah, I heard macam
banyak.
Aku surprised the chemistry between these four.
Menjadi.
Yes. Cool.
Alright guys, so aku rasa dengan itu berakhirlah sesi pembedahan kita untuk business proposal. Thank God Jamal suruh kita tonton because flaw turned out to be flawed and this turned out to be the most excellent one this season.
Yeah.
So
far.
Yeah, we look forward to more. Tapi kita tak sure lagi apa drama kita akan cover in the future. Next week
kita akan lebih berhati-hati ya.
Kita akan lebih berhati-hati.
Ya, kita akan masuk masuk.
Aku rasa kalau hype tu besar, kita boleh cover awal. Tapi generally speaking, kita kena tunggu aku filter lah kot. So macam, okay, ni boleh. Okay, kita bedah the first 6 episodes lepas tu kita sambung.
Unless drama yang boleh binge.
Yelah kalau dia release one shot.
Squid Game lah. Dia release satu kali terus macam tu lah.
Apa nama? Juvenile whatever tu korang terlepas. It was alright.
Lepas lah.
DP season 2 akan keluar apparently. So siapa yang tak tengok DP, tolong tengok DP.
Okay.
That's a fucking gut punch because it's great lah. Yeah.
Alright.
Aku adalah orang-orang yang macam takut reality, lepas tu tengok K-drama, lepas tu tengok reality juga. Itu macam bagus.
Tapi enjoy.
Itu
yang penting. So, terima kasih kepada para penonton kerana setia menonton. Terima kasih juga kepada para panelis kita, Tarmizi Ali dan juga Jamal Raslan. Join us tomorrow di mana kita bakal membedah dan membincangkan Moon Knight episod 2. Dan maybe hari Jumaat nanti kita akan membedah dengan lebih lanjut trailer bagi Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Dengan itu saja untuk malam ini guys. Terima kasih kerana menonton. Majulah fandom untuk